Scanning for audio.
Hello, welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. This time I'm going to be discussing, let me see. Is it the new Paul McGann? I think so. It's Paul McGann, the 8th Doctor. That's the 8th Doctor. For those of you who don't agree with me, you're all wrong. Doctor Who, the 8th Doctor Adventures in the Bleak Midwinter. This title was released in December 2023 and will be available on the Big Finish website until the 31st of January. However, it is of course a Christmas story. So, in fact, it's 3 Christmas stories. Let's have a look. Midwinter is a magical time, a season of hope and renewal. A time to spend with friends, with both Audacity and Charley by his side. The Charley is looking to celebrate. But the season also brings cold and darkness, and the TARDIS travellers are about to experience 3 very different winter's tales. Okay, Paul McGann has become associated with Christmas stories. We get that. Ever since Chimes of Midnight has had a Christmassy, dark feel. It's kind of built up. Even on the Pieces of 8 podcast, they're doing a whole What's Your Favourite Paul McGann Christmas story. No other Doctor is associated quite so much with Christmas as the McGanness. Now, we've just got Charley back. You've no idea how important that is to me because I loved Charley. Charley was part of the whole rehabilitation of the McGann Doctor, and God, it was good. And the business with the Vardens at the end, and the Virons, never really quite grasped that. And she spent time with the 6th Doctor. Let's all forget all of that because this is set much earlier in her time. Here we've got the lovely new TARDIS dynamic. We've got Lady Audacity, who appeared in the last box set, and even Charley's return was a secret because the cover of this box set just didn't have her on for ages. I think it had a picture of Santa or something. Here we've got 3 gorgeous, gorgeous audio stories. And they're all perfect for this time of year. Yes, you could be cynical and go, they're making Paul McGann all Christmassy. And you know what? We don't care. If you want to settle down over Christmas period at this point, get this. Just get this. Stop listening to the review. You don't need to hear me talk about how good it is. You just need to go and get it. I'm telling you to turn me off, which is a very dangerous thing for any podcast to do. Story number 1. 24 Doors by John Dorney, or John the Safe Pair of Hands Dorney. When the TARDIS lands in London on the 1st of December, the Doctor decides to treat his companions to a proper Christmas holiday, even down to dragging out the Baker Street Advent calendar. But elsewhere, in a city department store, Santa is starting to have an unnerving month. He's on a collision course with time travellers. Is it going to be a happy Christmas? Now, this particular Santa is played by Jason Watkins, who's just brilliant in everything. And I'm listening to it going, oh my God, he's just better. The entire cast of the McGanns are just on a totally different and heightened level of professional. They're just great. They're just great. This one has a bit of an M.R. James ghost story haunted thing going on, which isn't a bad thing at all, because we like the whole ghosty, hauntedy things, and that one's great. It's a haunted Santa. There's a thing that's going on, but you also get a whole rehabilitation of a character thing going on. It is very, very nicely done. And then you've got the slightly more scary, slightly more haunted, and very important to Charley's long story, if you think back on that one, The Empty Man by Tim Foley. Again, a touch on the scary side. Well, disquieting. Let's go there. Good evening, faithful listener. It's time for Eldridge Brinkwood, that splendid scribe of scary stories, to tell another tale of his Christmas Eve. Except this is horror like no other. The Doctor and his friends have stirred something in the dark, something ruthless, relentless, and the empty man must feast. It's really quite spooky. It's got a whole radio performance thing going on at the beginning, which is really nicely done. But then you've got, well, not a romp. Romp would not be the word you'd describe with this one. There's a lot of action going on, but it's definitely going to stick with you. You're going to be playing scenes from this in your head without realising in the middle of the night. And then you've got Winter of the Demon, which is the most action-packed of the 3. This one's by Roy Gill. The TARDIS brings the travellers to Victorian Edinburgh. Industrialist Donald Shaw plans to transform the city with electric light, but people are dying, found horribly burned. What ancient power has Saw summoned, and can the Doctor prevent the winter of the demon? You know what, Roy? There's one bit in this where you talk about something happening in the first act, and it actually refers back, and it's gorgeous. We know what you were doing. We could see it from here, and you do a gorgeous job. Seriously. It's well structured. It's a masterclass in structure and also using the flavour and atmosphere of a specific location. It's a gorgeous use of Scotland. And you know what? You can be proud of this piece. Not only the performance is brilliant, but you can actually feel yourself. This could have been on TV and it would have been a cracking story and people would have referred back to it for years. It just works. And the business with the stone lion, brilliant. Look, as far as I'm concerned, you are totally in for a treat if you get this box set. I know I'm usually enthusiastic about Big Finish, but seriously, this is great, and it's so good to have Charley back where she belongs, with us in our ears. And Lady Audacity, absolutely brilliant. So with that, here's the trailer as always. Oh, and Merry Christmas. Be seeing you.
From Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, The Eighth Doctor Adventures in the Bleak Midwinter.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright.
Merry Christmas.
I hate Christmas.
It isn't a Baker Street Christmas without the Baker Street Advent calendar.
Every day in December, you open a new door. They're all numbered, see? One a day until you reach Christmas Eve.
I keep seeing things, hearing things.
But why would you hallucinate us?
Who is this stumbling fellow? I can't quite...
Don't look at it, Eldridge. Behind me.
His face!
Run!
Is the figure following you?
Like a dead man lurching to his grave.
Oh, I think late Victorian, 1880 something. Quickly.
The solstice, December 21st.
Will you be in Edinburgh long?
Winter burnings. 7th victim discovered. His body consumed by mysterious conflagration.
The demon strikes again.
What did you make of his hands? One clasped, the other outstretched, as if warding something off.
A god of fire.
What Audacity says is true. You will burn, this city will burn, and then the whole planet.
The ultimate scorched earth policy. It can't be what he wants.
You tell ghost stories on the radio. I love that sort of thing. Big Finish. For the love of stories.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Everything discussed is the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. For early access to reviews, follow the show on YouTube or Twitter @Tin Dog Podcast. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.